Oh, good morning. I was in Shikor, the kind of like Korean Sephora the other day, and in my quest to spend more money on makeup, I was perusing the aisles, and there's this brand called Chosungah. And Chosungah I've always seen on like home shopping, and a lot of people would tag me in some of their interesting videos on Instagram, because Chosungah is a famous makeup artist in Korea, and she created like I think it's three. So far I only know of three because I saw three at Shikor. Three brands, and they're all at different like price points. There's Chosungah TM, I think, which is like the most expensive. Chosungah 22, which is like mid-level, I suppose. And then 16 brand, I think it's 16 brand. Oh, that's my friend King Lee out there. Hi. But there's this cushion, it's not even a cushion, it's this. That a lot of people showed me on Instagram. According to this, it's like a mixture of like a foundation with powder, and it's supposed to be like the best thing ever. According to the staff at Shikor, this is like the improved formula that apparently is always sold out on home shopping. In Korea, when something is sold out on home shopping, all the time, you know, they ain't fucking around because home shopping is like a big thing here. So this, it was a little painful. I think this is the most I've ever spent on foundation. This is like 58,000 won. I think, and it doesn't come with the refill. I think it's ridiculous, but I'm guessing from the videos that I've seen and the way it's described, it probably seems like it's gonna last you a while, so we'll see. Now, I can't really find very much information on this one, probably because it's so new, but I'm assuming it's somewhat similar. And you know what, I honestly think, because the cheapest, the like much lower end brand from them also has something very similar. I have a feeling that the formulas are quite similar. Don't quote me on that because I didn't do much research into it, but I have a feeling, because brands that, you know, own several sub brands, I suppose, tend to do that. They'll like share formulas. We're just gonna kind of go off of the description of this version, which is the version that's slightly cheaper than this one. I think it's like 35,000 won. Like I said, it combines foundation and powder. It's supposed to have a resilient and balancing formula. There's a video I saw on Instagram. I'm not gonna do it to mine, but I'll include the clip right here. It's supposed to give you a smooth and radiant complexion all year round. This version. I saw it's supposed to last for like 28 hours apparently. I don't know why you wear makeup that long. It's supposed to be color lasting. It's supposed to help roughness, pores, firm your skin and cover wrinkles, and give you skin gloss improvement. This is supposed to be a new formula, so I'm assuming it's supposed to be able to do that and a little bit better, so we'll just see what happens. Here. And for 58,000 won, you'd think it would come with like a better applicator, but this is like the cheapest sponge ever. But I'm assuming it's supposed to be the way you should apply it. I mean, if the girl is gonna put a cheap sponge in there, there's probably a reason why she didn't put like maybe like an air puff. Sadly, there's only like 2 shades, which is kind of pathetic, but I have mine in number 2, Sand Beige. It looks a little bit darker in the pan, but when I swatch it, it comes out a little bit lighter. So I'm just gonna do what I have on my face, and we'll see where this takes us. You can see I have like some pore issues here. I have my acne scarring, and I have like a combination of like my moles and kind of my freckles on my cheeks, and like the redness kind of combined to make it look like really terrible skin, which is, I mean, it's not the best skin, but I don't know how much, just kind of swipe it. Hopefully you can see this. This is in 4K, so I want you to see everything. The lady said that this is supposed to be really good for oily skin, and I can kind of feel that because it kind of feels not dry, but it definitely, if you have dry skin, I can see this picking up like dry skin texture. I think it's probably because the sponge is kind of rough. Not rough, it just feels dry. But I mean, it's not like a beauty blender where I would use it like wet. It's just straight up like dry. And it's not smooth like air puff that you would use with like a cushion. This color's a little, it's okay. But the coverage seems pretty good. It's like a medium-ish so far. I could probably build it up, but I only put like a little light layer. But what I'm noticing is that I am like having to dip back in constantly. But there's some foundations that act a little bit differently after you let it sit on the skin for a little bit. So we'll see, but so far it looks really nice. It's pretty smooth. It's more on the matte side, definitely. I was expecting from the, I knew just by looking at it and like the texture and everything, like foundation plus powder, that it's gonna be more of a matte finish. But I guess when I read the words like skin gloss improvement, it might have had like some kind of dewy finish, maybe. But no, that's not the case. I'm sorry if I keep going out of focus. It's the autofocus on right now. It's nice, but I don't see where the 58,000 won price tag comes in. I mean, if it looks like this all day on my oily skin, shit. Even though, because you see right here, like the sponge isn't really eating. I mean, you can see product on the sponge, but if you look up close, it doesn't look like it like really went into the sponge. It seems like most of the product is on my face. Let me see if I can build it up anymore. Out of pure, I mean, like what I just had is like I'm fine with, because I would normally just go with like the concealer if I need it. But this definitely feels like the kind of thing that you don't. Oh, it doesn't come off. I mean, can you even see that? Because I was watching on Instagram, they had videos of them like putting it in boiling water. They put it on like a hot plate. So she was getting put to the test. So I'm guessing this is supposed to like literally like sit on your skin almost like the way, I don't know, like paint would sit on the skin or something. But this is what we have. There we go. There it is. Like it covered all the pores and everything. A little dry looking around my eyes. There's nothing, obviously. Let me see what it would be like if I like try to use my finger. Yeah, it's kind of like smoothing on like a kind of dry type of pot concealer. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting. But you definitely need to moisturize your skin if you're going to use this, because it's not like it's catching on to dry patches, but it just feels like, especially with it being cold outside, it's gonna look dry throughout the day, and that's what I'm really most concerned about out of everything. But other than that, it looks okay, I guess. How does it look?
Not bad.
Like it almost looks like it's gonna be dry, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like especially around my eye.
Yeah, I can see the wrinkles.
Yeah. I mean, I already have, I naturally, like with my eye shape, I do have like lines under my eyes here. Not necessarily wrinkles, I mean, I guess you can call them wrinkles, but they've always been there. But hopefully it doesn't crease or anything because of my skincare recently. Thank God, I've been dealing less with creasing under the eyes. Oh my God, do you see that? I've been like also very teary-eyed lately for some reason. And you can see, do you see that? That is not cute. All right, so let me finish the other side, and yeah. So there I have it on both sides, and it's looking very, like I'm scared. I'm actually really scared, because you see right there. I mean, I do have a little peach fuzz on the tip of my nose, but it looks like it's gonna get dry there. And also my chin here. You see right here? You guys know, if you watch my channel regularly, I got that chin filler last year, and that caused the skin on my chin to look really weird, so everything would look really dry there. But then I got my filler removed, and so it went back to normal. But that looks a little bit dry to me. Usually in the case, like this sort of case where I'm like, oh my God, my skin looks looking a little dry. My skin is oily, so I do have the kind of hope, I suppose, that when my natural oils do come throughout the day, that it will help moisturize the foundation again. It will look more like, if anyone remembers, does anybody remember the Revlon Color Stay Whipped foundation? That looked really good throughout the day as it kind of mixed with your oils in general. And that's kind of what I'm hoping will happen with this one. Because so far, I mean, it doesn't look too bad. You can kind of see right here in the light, it still catches, like, it looks pretty glossy. So I'm hoping, because this is one of those things where, how do you describe it? Because it's like this kind of like bouncy, moussey, like clay almost. Do you see that? Right there. It kind of will meld with the skin. And so hopefully it does something to where it kind of melds into the skin, sits pretty and everything. But I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup, and I will be right back with you. Okay, so I finished my makeup. The palette, hold on, I can fucking bring it. Hold on. This is basically the look that I had in that video where I tried the Laneige lip cards. On my lips, I have the two 3CE lipsticks in Mirror Like and Mellow Flower. On my eyes and my cheeks, I'm using the Stila, what is this? The Perfect Me Perfect Hue in Medium Tan. And also I have a bit of the new Pony Effect grinding eyeshadow. You see this shit? You like turn it and the product comes out. And this shit is like shiny as fuck. So as I was doing my makeup, I noticed that it was, it was starting to settle into my skin a little bit more, which most foundations you do need to like give it a little bit to, because sometimes they sit a little bit differently after you let them like set. But it's still, the whole time I kept feeling like this area of my face felt a little bit tight and dry, but my face is looking almost like it's more firm. I just have a little bit of highlighter, but the foundation is almost like tightening my skin in a way. It just feels like that, I guess. But it's kind of making my skin look a little bit more gloss, especially I didn't really put highlight on my forehead, so it's kind of giving this glossy effect. But yeah, so this is where we are. What time is it? It's 2 p.m. and yeah, this is really fucking late. We'll see how well it lasts throughout the day so far. I tend to go to bed late anyway, so I'm probably gonna see you at like 3 in the morning. And here's what it looks like in daylight. Daylight. The natural light. It looks okay. I didn't powder it or anything, which is what I would normally do. But because it's like a foundation plus powder, then I figure, and like it already feels like I don't need to powder it, I didn't bother. But I forgot to mention the blush and stuff, it blended pretty alright, like on top. So it hasn't actually been that long. It's only 3 o'clock, but we're walking down Gangnam Street, like the main street, and it's really fucking cold, and my face feels really fucking tight. I don't know if it's because usually I'd be using that like Etude House oil volume-based primer, because that's what I'd be using this winter to kind of help make sure my foundation doesn't look or feel dry. But I didn't use it today. I just used my regular skincare, so I'm probably gonna have to try it again tomorrow with it. But luckily it doesn't look too bad. It's like up close though, it's like starting to do the thing, like the kind of like flaky, it's like barely starting. So hopefully being in this like not outside cold windy place will keep it from like getting there, but we'll see. It's, what time is it? Shiji? It's 7:10 in the evening, and you said it looks fine, right? Like it looks like the same. The skin, and surprisingly, it hasn't really. I was like, oh my god, I'm so worried it's gonna be like dry, but I mean, it still feels the same, but it hasn't like will end up looking drier, so that's like a relief. I'm like actually kind of impressed, to be honest. Probably doesn't look like it on my face, but I didn't powder it. I gotta look, I gotta decide. So I will be back with you when we're in better lighting. I'm back. It's 9:43 in the evening, so I've had it on for 7-ish hours, 8-ish hours. I don't fucking know, but it's all right. I mean, things I've noticed, hasn't faded. It hasn't creased either. Maybe it looks a little dry underneath. But one thing, my nose looks all right, I guess. But one thing I noticed though is that I still would probably prefer like a liquid, the way because it looks fine, but it's not as smooth. I'm sure if you have perfect skin or smoother skin than me, it would look nice. But for me, with all like the texture of my skin, I would prefer to put foundation, like liquid foundation or a cushion, and then like use a loose powder on top all over. And to me, that looks smoother than this would. I mean, it looks pretty smooth, but it's not as smooth as the other method that I mentioned. And it did feel kind of uncomfortable with how tight it felt. But that might just be because of the weather. So tomorrow, I'm gonna try it again, but maybe I'm gonna use like a cushion puff, because the sponge in it feels like not that great. I mean, it doesn't feel like, it's not like it hurts, it feels cheap, and it's not as smooth as like maybe an air puff. So I'm gonna try an air puff tomorrow, and I'm gonna use like an oil base, like the Etude House one. So not that I need to use that because it needs to look better, but I just feel like it will feel better, I suppose. Hi guys, it's the end of the second day of me trying this, and I don't know, because I like the way it looks. Sorry, I was kind of like rubbing my face around earlier. It actually doesn't look that bad throughout the day, and I don't notice it fading really. I don't notice it, I don't notice it fading on parts of my skin, like right here and on my forehead. But what I do notice though is that it did kind of crease right there in my one forehead line and around my mouth. And the thing is, I thought at first like, oh, it's just like the foundation, it's a little too dry for me, but then I remembered that I'm using this again, and the thing is, I kind of waned off of this and I would only use it every 3 days or so. And I thought because like, oh, my skin's used to it now, I can just like kind of lessen the number of times I use it. And if you guys don't know what this is the Makeup Face 10% glycolic acid AHA scaling cream. And it's just the stuff that helped heal a lot of my acne scarring and like it's making my skin overall smooth. But lately, I don't know why, but I've been really into like using it every night again. So I thought maybe like, oh, you know, because in the morning my skin would be like really plump and glowing. So, you know, I went back on it and I thought my skin was already used to it, so I didn't go through that 1 month phase of like dry skin again. But I think I might have waned off of it a little bit too much, so my skin is kind of having to get back used to it again, maybe. So that probably explains why this area is so dry. I'm gonna have to probably keep testing this foundation out. But so far, hold on, let me see. Oh, and also this morning I applied it not with that fucking cheap ass sponge that's in there, but I used one of these Pony Effect air puff things, and this is kind of like different from other cushion puffs in that it's more like a beauty blender texture. It's way easier, I feel like. And you might see in here, I said I wouldn't do it, but I was like messing around. I would like pull out the foundation and I'll roll it around into a ball like Play-Doh, but you can just stick it back in there and kind of just like press it in. So yeah, around here it did kind of fade and crack off. And you know what, let me actually touch up. I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on right now, so it's hard to see. Let's touch up real quick to see how well it layers on top. Yeah, it's kind of dry. I do like how that, because of the way it applies, it's thinner. So it's not like you're getting like a huge like layering of products that looks like cakey, but the dry skin that it did pick up, it didn't really do anything to help it look better. It kind of just like built on top of that, but the rest of it, it just kind of like melds back within itself, I suppose. And I guess it has to do with the technology that this foundation is. But so far, I don't know. I'm gonna have to like reuse it again, like test it while my skin isn't going through this phase of dryness because of this cream. But I can definitely tell that if you have dry skin already, even if you don't use something like this and your skin is just naturally dry and peely, I would avoid it. If you have oily skin, you definitely will fare much better with this, because I definitely noticed that it did pretty well on my oily skin. It's just now starting to get a little bit oily on my nose, which is my the oiliest part on my face, and it is pretty late. I put this on pretty like many hours, like 10, 11, 12 hours ago. Honestly though, I would prefer liquid foundation plus powder over this, to be honest, especially because this is 58,000 won. That's so expensive. So I think if you do want to try this texture, I would probably go with either the Chosungah 22 or the 16 brand version, which I really, really feel like it's like the same thing, especially the 16 brand one. It's like $13, $16. So yeah, if you are in Korea, you try going to Shikor, or I know Cremare has it. Go in store and try testing it, because this actually really feels like a more solid like Play-Doh version of the Maybelline Dream Mousse foundation. We all know that shit. Personally, I think it's ridiculously expensive for what it is, and I would probably be better off with just using like a regular cushion and like powder with it, especially with there being other really great cushions and foundations on the market that are cheaper and have more shade selections and even have like refills with them. You know what I mean? The refill thing probably doesn't matter too much, because this is the kind of product I can see lasting for a while, because I feel like I'm not making any sort of dent in the product. I mean, other than the fact that I like pulled it out and started playing with it like Play-Doh. So yeah, I hope you guys found that useful. I'll see if I can like include like a little update when my skin is like less dry from the cream, and I will make sure I will report that to you guys. I've been trying the foundation a lot more actually, and I let my skin calm. I kind of waned off of the cream a little bit to let my skin get back to like its normal non-dry state, and so you know it's back to normal, I guess. And so you know I've been trying the foundation, and I mean it's better. I use the oil volume base whenever I use it, and it definitely helps the product sit on top of my skin better. My hair is falling out. But I still don't think like it. I wore it today. It looks a little dry and not cakey, but it's like disappearing off from around my nose. And the rest of my face looks fine though. Oh, and she's creasing. Right there. Like it's not bad because I have a lot of foundations that I like that end up looking like this at the end of the day. But for 58,000 won, I don't think that's okay. If you have like normal skin to slightly combination, you might like it. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I would save my money or try the cheaper versions of it. Hey, yeah, I'm gonna go to bed now. Bye. Actually, no, I lied. I'm gonna play video games before I go to bed. I'll see you later. Bye.